Good afternoon and welcome to our January 2025 Project Vision meeting. I am not Adam Sandler, and this is my co-chair, Kiana McClure. Welcome. Let's see. Well, it's not raining, so that's good. Wait one. So I was hoping to start off the new year by making it very difficult for Richard and Tom to edit all of this at PEG TV. What do you think? I know, no F-bombs today. No promises, but we'll try. So we want to start off by looking for any first-time visitors, and if you would, because we're being recorded by PEG TV, if you could wait for a microphone. Any first-time visitors, if you would raise your hand. Starting in the back. Go ahead and stand up and introduce yourself, your organization.
Hey guys, there you go. That's okay.
That's perfect. It's for the recording.
Hey guys. Ready? My name's John Holman. I originally came from Adult and Teen Challenge. I graduated the program. I managed a sober house, but for the Rutland area a couple of years back, I brought it to Rutland recently, is I have an organization called We Help for suicide prevention and homelessness. I had 20 years of addiction. I had 8 years homelessness. You know, I've been in trouble before. I've not been in trouble. I'm a mental health coach and a life coach. So what I provide is kind of unique and it's different. So I go out there and fundraise. You know, you've seen Teen Challenge with the cutting boards, and I have my own allotment of stuff. And I help the community in that way. An 8-year-old little girl came to me the other day, and she was, you know, suicidal. So those types of things you couldn't set up an appointment for, not to reach her right away. So we do the mental health coaching, the life coaching. I try to provide something called QOL, which is a quality of life grant. Paul is my marketing and media manager right there. Sean is a really good friend and supporter of what I do. And I look to be bigger in the community. Like Proudy said, that there's, you know, we're not an island. So any kind of connections, eventually, you know, definitely want to get a building. But what you'll find in me, I hope, is somebody that's been through all the pain, can register with every single person from homeless to you find people here, and definitely putting boots on the ground to make some effective changes.
Excellent.
Boots on the ground.
Well, why don't we go right to Paul, since that was a great segue. Paul, welcome.
As John said, my name is Paul. I spent 21 years in and out of active addiction and drug use. I've never been homeless, but I've spent a majority of my life suicidal. I have a passion now that I didn't used to have, not only for life, but to help others. So when John asked me to come down here to help him get We Help restarted in Rutland, I didn't have to think twice about it. I jumped right on it. I'm down here helping with the website design, fundraising, things like that. You know, just want to get out in the community, develop relationships, you know, networking with all you fine folks, and you know, just see what we can do together to help those people that we see every day, but we don't think to look at twice.
I'm Greg Horst. I'm the Digital Program and Partnership Manager for Come Alive Outside. If you don't know us, we focus on getting everybody outdoors and active for health, wellness, and joy. We are dropping, most of the schools already got the youth passport for this winter. So if you see lots of kids running around in the parks, that's us. So thank you.
Anybody else?
In the middle right here, I believe. I saw raised hands.
Hi, I'm Nabil Maynard. I'm just actually a local citizen. Moved here this summer, and we just wanted to get involved.
And we are happy to have you.
Hi there. My name is Simone Kaplan, and as Nabil said, we just moved here. I am actually 2 months away from graduating with my master's in nonprofit leadership, and I'm doing a lot of work with senior program building. I'm currently working on a workshop blueprint for an East Boston urban farm. They need more senior engagement, and that's kind of my wheelhouse, working with folks in and out of memory care, folks that are at risk of isolation. So my plan is to, hopefully in the near future, take some vacant land, create a community garden, and have it senior-led, so we can get some skill sharing going on, some intergenerational learning, because seniors are just such a treasure trove of so many practical skills. And I feel like my generation and younger just doesn't necessarily have those skills. And it could also just be a wonderful opportunity for engagement. So that is my goal. And also we really love it here in Rutland. We just bought a home a few months ago, and we really just want to make this our long-term home. So very, very glad to meet everyone.
Living library.
If you guys could join us at the volunteer committee.
Well, Chief, have you thought about gardening? Senior led? Well, that's what, yeah. Sorry about that. Any other, did I miss anyone? First-time visitors? Well, Sarah, we're getting to you at the end. Okay. Yeah, you got away with it last month, not this month. Okay, Mayor is up at the Governor's inauguration. Chief?
Thank you, Matt. Thanks, Kiana. Thanks, everyone, for being here. It's nice, again, coming every month and still seeing the turnout that we get. So thanks for being here. Thanks for what everyone's doing in the community. So just some updates at the department. First, I want to introduce Noah Sweeney. If you haven't met Noah, Noah's our new, sort of our new animal control officer. So Noah has been a dispatcher with us for some time now, and if you remember Tim Jones, Tim retired last June, and we identified Noah as Tim's replacement around that time, but because of some hiring difficulties, Noah's sort of played dual role as a dispatcher and his off time served as our animal control officer. Now he's in that role full time, so we're glad to have you, Noah. I'm sure you're glad to be out there. Some other updates. You've met Nate Thibodeau, our crime analyst, a number of times. He's been here. So he's, as you may know, he's a member of the Air Force, I guess he's in the reserves, right? Air Guard, and he's been deployed. So he's en route somewhere. Not sure what his mission is, and I don't know if he's sure either, but he'll find out when he gets there, I guess. But so going forward for the next several months, we'll have fairly limited analytical capabilities. So if you come to our RUTSTEP meetings, the focus will really be on our 3-peat locations, not so much on our crime stats, because as I said, we'll have some difficulty for the next several months. Because he'll be out of the country, he couldn't access some of our databases and some of our systems, so we'll have some real difficulty to produce those analytical products. So anyway, we'll focus on the 3-peat. You'll hear a lot of the names that many of you are probably dealing with, so we'll continue to hear those sorts of things. Some other updates, again, because Nate's, as I said, not here right now, I'm not sure when we'll have our sort of our year-end report. He was hoping to get it done before he left. I didn't see it yet, so might not have that. If we do get it anytime soon, we'll have it for next month. But if we don't have it anytime soon, it won't be next month either. So, but as soon as we have that year-end report, then we'll present that. But I think if you follow any social media or you read the paper, watch the news, you have some sort of sense for what we're dealing with out there. You know, we've been busy, as you can imagine. Our call volume, calls for service up significantly, and I think it really reflects on I think the difficulty that those in the community are struggling with. So, you know, I think everyone here is dealing with much of what we're dealing with, much of what we see. So I think you all have a sense for how busy we all are. As I said, in terms of a formal report, though, hope to have something for you before too long. But I can tell you, in terms of overdoses, because let's face it, Project Vision really started a number of years ago, focusing on the opioid epidemic, and our overdose numbers are down. Our fatal overdoses are down significantly. Our non-fatals are down also. It doesn't mean we still have some challenges, but I think, and I was asked this, if you had gone to our community meetings in December, I was asked that question by Gordon, what does it mean? You know, I must say, I think we're probably not made aware of many of the overdoses because of the availability of Narcan now. But nonetheless, our fatals are down, which is a good thing. The non-fatals that we are responding to are down, but doesn't necessarily mean that our overdoses overall are down. So it still remains to be a challenge for us. Let's see, what else? In terms of our staffing, I mentioned Noah. I typically talk about the number of openings we have at the department, and we're making significant progress. You know, going back about 3, on my whiteboard, I might have mentioned before, I sort of keep track of when we add someone, when we lose someone. And over the last 3 years or so, our numbers were down about as low as 26. And by the end of this month, they should be at a high, the 3-year high of about 34. And so that's good news. And some of the individuals we're looking at right now that'll be starting with us are coming from another agency or other agencies that don't have the support in their communities, either from the community itself or from the elected officials. And that's one of the things that we have here. So I want to thank everyone for that, because without that, I think we'd have even more challenges to fill those positions. But because we have the support of the community, because we have the supported elected officials, thank you, Kiana. You know, people are looking at us for that reason, and so we're thankful for that. So, and because of that, we'll be able to do some things that we've been trying to do for some time. We want to be a little bit more proactive. Now, we've had sort of an informal initiative to bring some stability to certain neighborhoods, right? Within the department, and those who come to us that probably hear about a lot of these locations that are really creating some chaos in different neighborhoods. And so we're looking to formalize sort of a neighborhood stabilization initiative. And we'll be able to do that, to add some more resources to do that. Right now, our BCI is sort of taking the lead on that, but we need to get them some more resources to be able to do that. You know, our detective cases are coming in; they get cases assigned to them, but I want their focus to be this neighborhood stabilization initiative. And so, as I said, it's been sort of informal over the last several months, and had some real success at a couple different locations. We want to sort of formalize that, and I think with some additional personnel going forward, we'll be able to do that. And you know, again, handling the number of calls we're getting with the number of officers we've had has been real difficult over the last several years. As you may know, I mentioned before, in terms of our patrol shifts, we have 4 patrol shifts, and 3 of our 4 sergeants, the leaders of the shift, have been out for long-term, for different reasons. And so we've had some real challenges, but as I said, getting these new personnel will really help us formalize some of the things we've been trying to do for some time. So again, we've been able to do it because of the support of the community and our elected officials. So we've been real fortunate in that respect. So with that, I'll pass it back to Matt or Kiana, and thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
Matt has taken a seat, so now it's my turn to drive. Thank you guys, thank you all. I didn't get the chance to introduce myself in the beginning. My name is Kiana McClure. As Chief mentioned, I'm an elected official here in Rutland City. I hold a seat on the Board of Aldermen, which is like our city council for any newcomers who may be unfamiliar with the term. We're gonna go ahead and move back into Matt for the Vision Center updates. So, thank you guys.
Why, thank you. It's nice to be back. I wrote some notes. Who remembers Maureen Kavanaugh? She presented here in Rutland. So Maureen, she wrote a book, and she works with an organization called Operation to Save Lives, and I believe RRMC, correct, Jamie, brought her to Rutland. And so Maureen had a daughter that was highly addicted. I think she went into rehab like 40 times, something like that. And she lived outside of, you know, the greater Boston metro area, and she was a teacher. And the focus of her story that she shared with us as a family member of a person suffering from addiction was her struggle trying to get assistance. And she went to rehab centers and recovery centers all up and down the East Coast, and she talked to professionals and all of these things. Anyway, she goes through her whole process and never gave up. And really inspiring story. Well, I got to spend some time with her down at the Turning Point Center on State Street before she presented that night at the intermediate school auditorium. And I got to learn a little bit about this organization, Operation to Save Lives, that she worked with. And some of the folks in that group are retired chiefs from, I believe, like Bridgewater, Mass, or Portsmouth County agencies in there. And so we got connected, and they have a program where they come into like a coalition like we have, and they do sort of a survey, and they give you some feedback on, hey, you guys are really strong here, you need to focus a little bit of energy there, what have you. And I thought that would be a healthy place for us, because sometimes when you're this close to it, you don't see where the gaps are. So I start working with them, and then I get a call from everybody's favorite guy, Jim Baker. Hey, Matt, before you go spending money, we're going to bring in Operation to Save Lives at the state level. So Jim is consulting for the state with Governor Scott's 10-point violence reduction piece. So they call it the PSET, the Public Safety Enhancement Team or whatever. And so they contracted with Operation to Save Lives, and they are bringing what's called the situation table to a bunch of places. So they've already did the training, and they're bringing it in Bennington, Brattleboro. I think this week Springfield goes live with theirs. And the situation table is based off of a model in Ontario where providers come together. There's training, there's a database that academics have put together. You can't modify it. Every place that this program is used is identical. They've identified risk factors and all this stuff, and it doesn't really matter your discipline, but you can come in and somebody brings in a situation, and that situation will be de-identified, and they talk about a person maybe between the ages of 20 and 29, and they have A, B, and C, 4, 5, 6, however many risk factors, and then the group will say something to the effect of, hey, we have a consensus that this person is at an acute elevated risk. And then it goes through this process, and eventually a team is put together, and not everybody at the table is on that team. The team is specific to the risk factors, and maybe, or a relationship with that individual if they happen to know them. That team then forms their own little group outside of the situation table, and within 48 hours, they go out and do an intervention. And that whole point of it is not to solve all the world's problems, but for the situation table's perspective, to bring somebody from an acute elevated risk to services, or at least an attempt into services. And that team may work for another year outside of the situation table, but it's just a really cool concept. So when I heard that they were going to do this training, I got really excited. But then what happened is they kind of forgot about Rutland. And I'm like, hey, remember we were going to contract with you first, and I was going to pay, we was going to use vision money, the very little that we have, to bring them here. And then they said, hey, hold off, the state's going to pay. And then you forgot about us. So I found out they were doing this training in Springfield, and I invited myself. And and one of the few smart things that I've done, I brought Daniel Payton with me from Community Care Network. It's good to bring smart people with you places, FYI, note that. Because I wanted another perspective on the mental health side, and we went through this training and through the whole thing, and so we're on the ride back from Springfield. I'm like, hey, what did you think? She goes, I want to start tomorrow. So I had a meeting at 11 with the folks from Operation to Save Lives and with Jim Baker. Jim Baker did get the go-ahead from Commissioner Morrison, Jen Morrison, for public safety. They are willing to pay to bring the training here to Rutland. I am looking at March, the end of the last 2 weeks in March, bringing it here. We're going to have some marketing stuff coming out. We're going to probably cast a pretty wide net for this training. I'm really excited about it. I think this will be an opportunity for us to, well, a couple things. One is having the training multidisciplinary with the police and all the providers is, we know here in Rutland, that's a big deal. But I think the real magic in the research that I've done is that when these teams of different organizations go out and deal with these interventions, we build capacity every time we do that, right? So many of us you've worked with my team or my CRSs, whatever, but maybe you haven't worked with some of the other organizations. And I just think this is going to be, I'm excited that this year and the years to follow could be an incredible time for growth for us as a coalition. And I'm hoping that as people look at this model, it's going out in Montana now, in Kentucky, other places, they look to Rutland and say, hey, look at that data. Look what happened there. So that's what I have from the Vision Center. Pretty excited about it. Stay tuned.
That is an amazing Vision Center update, so thank you, Matt. I almost think I should have had you save that for the end for the positive and uplifting story, because, oh, Sarah's got that. Now I've got my person identified for later. Awesome. All right, we're gonna go ahead and move into announcements. Does anybody have any announcements that they would like to share with the whole group? I've got a hand in the back, I've got a hand in the middle, and I got a hand in the front. So we'll start in the back and move up. Please speak into the microphone for PEG TV.
Hi, Renee Beaupre-White with the Council on Aging, and the survey is the aging survey is live as of today, so please feel free to fill it out by January 31st. I also have hard copies, anybody 16 over, and share it widely, please. And next Tuesday, we're hosting a mixer, a cedar mixer, at the agency from 5 to 7. All are welcome.
Thanks.
I hope to see you all there next week. I'm very excited.
Hi, I'm Tom Donahue, for those of you who don't know me, but I'm running for the Rutland City Board of Aldermen. So I hope to be joining Kiana McClure, ladies and gentlemen. And I think you're on the Public Safety Committee?
I am.
Yes, so one of the things that is my focus is public safety, and I'm a big supporter of the Rutland City Police Department, always have been, but I am concerned with public safety in the community, obviously, and so I'm hoping to get off the couch, go back on the board. I am a 3-term alderman previously and was president of the board at one point, and it's time to go back in and dig in with Kiana and others to support public safety, as well as economic development. So I want to increase public safety and decrease property taxes, and that's my stump speech. But but on March 4th, if I'm fortunate enough to be reelected, I hope to join the board with Kiana. So thank you very much.
Careful, Tom. If you keep talking like that, I'm going to put you on the volunteer committee here with me. So.
There you go.
Good morning. Good afternoon. I'm Norman Cohen. I'm a member of the Vermont Declaration of Inclusion Initiative, and I just want to bring to your attention how far we've come. We now have 159 towns and cities in Vermont that have adopted the Declaration of Inclusion, and those towns and cities contain or home to almost 79% of Vermont's population. And I'm proud to say Rutland was in the first 15 or 20 that adopted, and we're working with them to move forward with what we call implementation, and that is taking the words of the Declaration and turning them into policy, procedures, review of situations, and making it a part of both the culture of the government and the culture of the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Norm. I will say it has been a pleasure to work with Norm on the Declaration of Inclusion in Rutland City, and I'm super excited to see what comes next and comes down the pipeline in terms of policy. All right, any other announcements before we move on along? Alrighty, so we're going to go ahead and move into our breakout sessions. Our committees are going to address strategies to address gaps within the purview of our current focus. This is a continuation from our December 2024 meeting. If folks remember what group they were with, we kind of popcorned around the room. We're going to go ahead and I'll be nice and I'll put community policing out in the lobby with the comfy chairs because they never get the comfy chairs. And then I'm going to move health to the front corner here, where community policing usually goes. Youth, I will go ahead and let you guys have the big table in the back where you guys tend to post up. It does not look like our training and education committee will be meeting today, as Eric Pulver is absent. I will be over here in this front corner with the volunteer committee, and I'm eyeballing some people who I think would be really good fits for our volunteer committee. And am I missing anybody? Am I missing any committees? I don't think so. Youth gets the table in the back, health gets the front, community policing gets out there, volunteer is there, training and education is absent, so I think we are good. So we'll go ahead and we'll move into those committees, but before we do, while PEG TV still has us on camera, I want to say a special shout out to Domino's Pizza for once again donating all of the pizza that's out in the lobby. They have been doing that in the kindness of their hearts for now over a year. And I just think we really, really need to make sure we are all saying thank you to Domino's, because that is just an amazing philanthropic gesture. There are gluten-free options available if anybody needs them. They are in the small boxes. If anyone has any questions, please come and find me. I'll bring us all together in about half an hour. So thank you, guys. All right, everybody. So we're going to go ahead and reconvene. I think we got PEG TV rolling again, but we won't be reconvened for very long. Do we want to go forward with committee report outs, or do we want to save that? Jamie, is there anything to report out from your committee today, or should we save that for next month? All right, so we've got a committee report out from the Health Committee, introducing Jamie Bentley to give us a little bit of an update.
Kidding. Health Committee had a couple different conversations. We talked about how there's a transit subcommittee or committee trying to form so that we can really start looking at some of the transportation issues. There might be a regional mobility council. We're not sure. We're thinking that might happen. To sort of help with those issues as well. So just wanted folks to know that transportation continues to be top of mind, and that there's lots of folks in the community who are working to address some of those gaps in services. The other piece we talked about was some, policy brief. Thank you. Oh my gosh, my own mind. Anyways, the Project Vision Health Committee has really focused a lot on some of the healthcare, access to healthcare issues that we are seeing within the state and within Rutland Regional because of the Green Mountain Care Board decisions. And so that group is working on creating a policy brief to send to some of our legislators about how some of those decisions are impacting the folks that we serve here in the community in a negative way, especially with any type of decrease in access to care that we've been hearing about and we're seeing. So that is in the works. We're hoping that our collective voice might be able to have some powerful impact for our legislators, and maybe hopefully have some positive impact in some of the work that's being done to make sure our access to care is not limited. The other thing I just wanted to say quickly, earlier Chief Kilcullen made a comment about having support from the community and from the municipality, and I also just wanted to point out that while we support the PD, the community, and the Board of Aldermen, it is easy for us to do that because we also have a PD that is collaborative, communicative, and compassionate. And so those things work both ways, and I think it's just really awesome that we have such great collaboration between our public service officers, our community organizations, the Board of Aldermen, and community members. So thank you to you all as well.
Thank you, Jamie. And because the subject of transportation came up, it's something that's very near and dear to my heart. I just want to share a fun piece of data I have in that aspect from the 2020 census. There are over 400 households in Rutland City that do not have a car. So the idea of transportation, especially as we look to the weather outside and the accessibility of that transportation and municipal public transit, is so, so, so important. So thank you to you guys for all of your work on that front, all of the conversations you are having. Keep me in the loop because I'm very interested and want to know more. Next, we're going to go ahead and move into our positive and uplifting story. And I have somebody who was identified to me earlier that I would like to invite up to the podium to come speak. Oh yeah, I'll put you on the spot. Matt handpicked you. It's your turn. You got this. You've got this. I believe in you. And the floor is yours.
Thanks, Matt. Well, first and foremost, we learned teens are still doing drugs, which is unfortunate, but we're working on it. I guess the one thing I wanted to just kind of highlight, it's not a specific story, but I think here in Rutland County, there's so much good work going on. There's a lot of really great communication, collaborations, just a sense of community. So I just wanted to highlight that. Thanks. Back to you, Matt.
Short and sweet.
Do we have any other positive or uplifting stories that people would want to share? Oh, we've got a hand over here. It looks like there's a microphone coming up behind you, or you can come up to the podium.
No, I'm good with that.
You got it.
So I'm Avon Birch. I work for Brock Community Action, for those who don't know me. I just wanted to share that I have gotten a vet that has been homeless for 10 years. He is finally hooked up to the vet center, and he's in a hotel.
Amazing. Oh, we got one more
sorry.
hand.
Hi, Shelley from Brock Community Action. I'm sure a lot of you have seen the social media got blown up with a family that was sleeping at the transit center. I had actually had engagement that day, and she had a place to stay. But Brock, I've been engaged with her, and there is a reason for everything. We were able to get her ID so she would have access to her benefits, which she had not had access to for 7 months, and she was not able to pay her 30%, so that was the reasoning. But she's so happy. I think the first time that I almost cried at work because, you know, the little boy, I was able to actually get some funding for a few days to get them off the street and additional days. The first night was taken care of. But when I saw this little boy, and because Mom was doing what she needed to, and I was able to, and then she showed up when she was supposed to, and when I said, you know, that he didn't have to go back outside, he started crying. I almost did. So, you know, there is a story. I know the social media can blow everything up out of proportion, and there's always a backside. So I just want everybody to keep that in mind. But the family's safe, doing well, and moving upward.
That's beautiful. Thank you both for the amazing, amazing work. Thank you as well for the amazing work. It's just absolutely wonderful. I think we're going to go ahead and wrap this for the day. So thank you guys so much for being here. There is pizza out in the lobby. Please help yourself. If you don't, I have to bring it home. So please eat a lot. So thank you guys.